Salut à tous, c'est Marie de Just French It. Welcome on this Just French It channel. If you don't know me, I am Marie. I am a French native speaker and I'm also a French teacher and I'm teaching you French on Just French It, so on this YouTube channel. So if you are not subscribed yet and that your goal is to learn French, you should definitely click on the button that says subscribe. It's red, it's under the video, you just click on there and we are gonna get started. In this video, I'm going to talk about fluency and we are going to answer to the question, how long does it take to be fluent in French? Because I know that a lot of you want to achieve fluency. When I ask you, what do you want to be able to achieve in French? You pretty much all answer me, I want to be fluent. I want to be able to do anything in French. And this is what you think fluency is. And I wouldn't say that fluency is that, because anything is just too broad of a word, right? Even a French native wouldn't be able to talk about specific parts of science in French because the vocabulary is too complicated or they're not used to it. So fluency is not about being able to speak and talk and, be able to say anything in French or do anything in French. Sorry, I'm drinking at the same time because it's bloody hot here. So, what actually is fluency then? Well, fluency for me, and I'm going to define it like this. Fluency, that's how you all think about it in a way, is spontaneity. How do you spell that? Spontaneity, okay. Is being able to be spontaneous in French. French fluency, obviously. French fluency, I think, and in this video, this is the basic that we're going to take, is being able to be spontaneous in French. That means that includes, yes, basic conversation, like saying, hey, how are you? But also being able to interact with people in everyday situation. For example, going to the supermarket, asking for a stamp. For example, asking your child about something in French. For example, texting someone. For example, reading something simple, or at least rather simple in French. I'm not talking about literature. That would actually be something higher than fluency for me. And but reading something like a self-help book is written in a simple manner, and that you should be able to understand it when you achieve this level in your language, which is what I'm going to talk in what I'm going to define as fluency in this video. So how long does it take to achieve this level when you are able to be spontaneous? Well, obviously you maybe are a beginner, right? And if you are a beginner, I have a few bad news for you, which means that to be able to be at least spontaneous in easy situations, you're going to need a year. So for beginners, 1 year. But be careful, it's not just 1 year of using Duolingo. Even though Duolingo is a good tool, 1 year of Duolingo is not going to make you a spontaneous speaker in simple situation. Sorry. What it's going to do, and what you need to do if you want to achieve this sort of, beginning of fluency, is you want consistent practice. This is the first one. So you need consistent practice. So speaking French actually with French people if possible, French natives even better, with a teacher, with friends, with people over the internet. So, and when I'm saying practice, I mean practice when you are writing, but also practice when you are speaking with people, both at the same time. So to achieve some sort of spontaneity, you're going to need consistent practice, so interacting with French people on a regular basis or interacting in French on a regular basis. It needs to be regular, right? That kind of goes in with the consistent practice. So twice a week to more than that at least to be able to achieve that sort of beginning of spontaneity. And then the third thing that you need to be able to do that in 1 year, if not, it's going to take you longer than that, is having access to good material that suits you. We don't all learn the same way, right? There are methods and textbooks and teachers that work better with certain people than others. For example, myself, I work very much better with people who are very independent in their learning, and they need feedback and they need someone to work on their pronunciation. This is what I do best, okay? With adults. I work especially well with adults that have a busy life and they want someone to speak French on a regular basis. This is what I do best. I'm not saying that I'm a good learning material, but I'm a good learning material for people like this, right? If you are someone who needs someone who's just always behind you to teach you things in a lesson kind of way, then I'm not the one you need. I wouldn't be a good material for you. So this is the difference. You need to find good material, so it can be textbooks, teachers, apps, methods, anything that works for you, okay? So if you find that rather quickly, then probably, and if you stick with it and if you're consistent with it, then probably in a year you will be sort of spontaneous, right? So you will go from a beginner level to what I call the intermediate plus level. So that's, anyway between B1 and B2. These are the European references for language learners, for levels anyway. If you don't know what this is, just remember intermediate plus. You'll be able to, be sort of spontaneous in French, but you won't be able to be truly spontaneous. You will make mistakes. You will, in certain situations that you are not accustomed to, you will not understand what's happening. If you want more than that, so if you want to achieve some sort of true fluency, some sort of being able to be spontaneous in French in most situations, so arrive to an advanced level, so from intermediate plus to advanced, here, and that's the bad news, it's going to take a few more years. Why a few more years, and why does it sound like it's the end of the world? Because it's all about subtlety after this point. So it's going to be very difficult to learn. It's going to be very difficult to find ways to learn those things, and there are a lot less material for you as well when you arrive to this level in French, intermediate to advanced. So it's going to take more hours of study, more time to go from intermediate to advanced, but in the same time, it's going to be easier for you to do it. It'll be less demanding in energy for your brain to do 1 hour or 2 hours of French in a row, which you won't be able to do if you are a beginner. So if you are a beginner right now, just know that you're going to need 1 year of consistent practice, regular practice, and having access to good material to arrive to the intermediate plus level. And then once you are there, it's going to be easier but longer, and it's going to take you a few more years to be able to be truly spontaneous in French. For example, in the way that I am in English. I'm not reading anything at the moment, so it's the way I speak in English anyway. So if you want to achieve some sort of level that is similar to mine, I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm okay with it. But if you want to achieve this sort of level in French, then you're going to need a few years. You're going to need 1 year of really, consistent, dedicated practice. And then a few more years of using the language on the regular, having access to good material, and keep practicing to be able to achieve this sort of subtlety of the language and understand it in a more deeper level. So that's it for today. If you want to learn more French with me, if you are really interested in learning French, and if you are ready to do that part with me, then I suggest you sign up for the private emails. I send emails every day in which I'm motivating you to learn French, but I'm also giving you resources. I'm also giving you tips on how to learn better. I'm also giving you learning material from time to time, actually. So if you want all of that with me, sign up for the private emails. If you are at this level, what I'm going to suggest to you is to contact me if you are looking for a teacher, and we can start practicing French together on a more regular basis. Okay, well, I'll see you in there, so bye-bye.